Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Anna Gibson, and today I would like to try to debunk some of the Trump myths or discuss some of the things that he's been accused of that are complete bogus, in my opinion. And by the way, in case you didn't notice, do you like my new shirt? Not today, sir. And fight, fight, fight. I mean, that's pretty much, you know, sums it up. Sums it up because I am kind of in the mode or in the mood to fight for what I believe in, fight for what's important to me, fight for the sake of our future. And it might not be easy now. It's certainly not going to be easy now. I'm going to be dealing with a lot of scrutiny. A lot of people are going to try to gaslight me, or they're going to, um, most likely, they're just not going to listen to what I say. And anytime they hear me say Trump's name, they're going to get angry. It's just going to be anger and lacking in reason completely. But yeah, why do people hate Trump so much? Why? I mean, I'll tell you why I didn't like him. Because from the little clippets I got of him, which were taken way out of context, Shando's gotta be loudest when I make videos for some reason. But I I thought he was kind of nasty at first. I thought he was mean. I thought he was ill-spoken. Um, just a minute. I'm gonna try to see if I can quiet my dog down just a little bit. He might like a treat. Well, what I do know is that the media takes the whole story, they clip it all up to their cherry picking liking, and then they sell that to people. And people fall for it, especially people who want to believe it. Well, only people who want to believe it, namely liberals and especially people who lean far left and aren't willing to think outside that box one bit. It's because I was able to think outside the box. I was able to listen to both sides that I was able to change my mind. But you know, it's it's interesting how they respected me so much before when I was, or it seemed like they did. Not really. They didn't respect me, but I thought I felt respected back when I was constantly, back when I was in the cult. But now that I am thinking for myself, and don't know what my sources are, yet they assume to know what they are. Now that I am looking at both sides and really trying to, come to my own understanding, and now that I have my own understanding and I rely on my own principles, my own morals, my own um, autonomy to make a decision on what I think is right and which side I should be on. And now they completely ostracize me or unfriend me or cancel me. And it's disgusting, honestly, and I am embarrassed to be associated with those people now. Yeah, I'm not missing out on a darn thing when you say you don't want to be my friend anymore just because I say I support Trump. I mean, shame on you. Trump didn't do anything, and well, I mean, he wasn't perfect, but I mean, compare him to everyone else in the swamp. He's not a bad man. And most of the things you hear about regarding him are lies from the left wing media. And I mean, they make it sound like he's completely illiterate, which is false. He's a very intelligent man, you know? Just because he has a maybe a simpler way of speaking, just because he stands for the blue collar and middle class, etc., etc., does not mean that he's doesn't care about education, doesn't care about culture. It doesn't mean that at all. I mean, that's just stupid, frankly. Anyway, well, I don't care. I don't care if I lose friends over this. So I was my one of my friends who is now an ex-friend was giving me a ride home from work. Um, we liked to, go to the beach together, take our dogs out for road trips and stuff. It was, I thought it was a nice friendship. Um, but I knew that our views would definitely clash at some point because she knew very well that I was Christian, that I am Christian, that I'm Catholic, that I lean more conservative. I've actually said that I'm libertarian. I lean more libertarian. So there have been several incidents before this where, I just sort of let it slide when she was very disrespectful towards me. We'd be hanging out with a group of friends, and all of a sudden she'd start bashing Christians, saying that we're all stupid and ignorant, and saying that all Trump supporters are evil, and that conservatives are dumb, and all this other terrible stuff. And it was often, and I knew that she was trying to make me squirm in my seat. She was testing me. She was trying to make me say something. Now, usually my responses were, you know, quiet, very civil. Sometimes I'd leave the room if it got too much, but I had always had a reason because I'm on shift. I'm working, and I'm working in the cafe while everyone else is hanging out in the back patio chatting. Um, but there was a time when she had commissioned me to paint the interior of her trailer, and she wanted for me to paint some satanic, the satanic origin of the Garden of Eden. She wanted for me to paint um, Satan's wife, and she knew that that would go against my religion. She even said, "Oh, you don't think you can do that, can you?" And I said, "Well, I like sheepishly said, I don't think I can." So she said, "Okay, well, that's okay." But she kind of tried to skirt around and ask me if I wanted to do that Adam and Eve, that Michelangelo painting of God reaching for Adam's hand, or creating Adam, the creation of Adam. Well, she didn't necessarily, of course, she didn't want the real Christian representation of it, or no. She wanted for me to make it blasphemous in some way, and that was a way for her to really control me and manipulate me into doing something that I am completely against. And I should have seen from that that she was not a true friend, not a good friend for me. But I thought, yeah, all the other times were nice, and we were good camping buddies, and we had fun, and it was only a matter of time till I was honest about what I think about Trump. I said I like Trump, and her first response was, "Oh, I wish he had died." And you rascal. Look at this rascal down here. Sorry for the little mess. He's a little bit messy. Well, so am I. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I said that I mentioned um how women are having to forfeit, the highest champions of female boxing are needing to forfeit after one single punch. I'm constantly being told that that's not true, that never happened, you're being told lies, or oh, I'm told that I'm lying. Constantly I'm told that I am spewing nothing but right-wing propaganda. Like, come on, really? I I was She told me I watch CNN and Fox News when I don't. Number one, I get a lot of my uh, resources, online, and talking to people who are on both sides of the spectrum and in between. And I like to listen to both sides of the story, and what I've found, like, my brain's just changing. When I listen to the leftists, I find that whereas before I'd agree with most of the things they said, now I find that I can't agree with most of it. It is kind of strange. Just a minute, my dog's being really loud. But and, and it's the other way around with the conservative side, or the right leaning side. I wouldn't say that I'm far right by any means, but I agree more with them now, with the conservative side. Um, just one second. Okay. Got that in my teeth? Nope. One of the things she told me, I'm just going to address one of them. Debunk one myth. Did Trump put kids into cages? No. And I'm surprised that, well, I'm not surprised actually. People are still saying that he did. Probably people who probably praised Obama over and over again. Do you know who really put those kids in those cages? Obama did, not Trump. It was Obama. I almost feel like if I were to present the facts to them, point blank, right there, they would not be able to refute it. They'd still deny it. They'd still say, no, 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 it's propaganda. Now, how do you know that what you're watching from the left isn't propaganda when the media is mostly run by the left? it's, it's ludicrous, guys. It's completely bogus. I mean, these children were being rescued in these temporary holding facilities. I mean, on one side, you had a cage, a big cage where you had the parents and you had the kids. All right, and these places were temporary. These kids were victims of abuse more than often. Their parents would use them as pawns to get over the border, and I think that Trump did what he could to help them in the moment. After they were held in those, like, detention facilities or whatever you want to call them for a temporary period of time, they were sent to other living situations, living facilities. I just don't want to use the word facility. I guess it is a facility, but they basically turned a bunch of Walmarts into housing um, places. Sorry, I'm having a hard time finding words right now. I'm a little distracted. That tends to happen sometimes when I'm, you know. But yeah, these children were given housing, and um, if you look it up, they were given recreation centers, games, places where they could play and study and do. There were kids outside doing tai chi together. Nothing like the cold steel prison that they were all talking about. You know, they never mentioned any of that when back in 2014 when Obama was president. Never. And that's pretty much it was Obama who did that. And there's still, it won't matter what I say. They're not gonna they're not gonna hear me. They're not gonna hear me out. Of course, Trump's evil, evil, Knievel. So yeah, it was not Trump. Trump did not build those cages. It was Obama and Biden's administration. Okay? Look it up. You don't believe me, that's fine. Look it up. If you don't want to look it up, that's on you. You can choose to not believe the truth if it makes you cozy. Democrats built those cages. And, I think Trump did what he could to get the kids, to save those kids and place them into a safer environment at the time. I mean, what would you do in handling that situation? Would you be able to immediately fix everything, and would you give the bad parents who hurt their kids, would you give them their kids back? Or um, you know I certainly wouldn't. If I saw kids being abused and hurt by their parents, I would not give them back to them. That would be completely wrong. And a lot of that was happening. Trump was not saying that all Mexicans are beep, beep, beep. You know what I mean? He was saying that people do try to get over this border with paraphernalia, and that is true. He is saying that we need to build a wall to keep the bad people out and allow the good people to come in legally, respectfully. That's how it should be. Do you want for us to have an even bigger drug crisis than we already do, which is already just getting worse and worse and worse? Do you wanna do you wanna continue with child sex trafficking? Do you want to continue? I mean, I could just go on and on and on. But yes, it is a hard thing to talk about, but it has to be talked about because it is. We have to confront these lies, And no matter what people say to us, we have to keep speaking the truth. We have to. There needs to be more whistleblowers. There needs to be more people who aren't afraid of scrutiny and being treated like crap. I'm gonna go get my dog. He's outside. By the way, you like my shirt? I do. Also, speaking of which, can we talk about the wall? Trump promoted that as a safety measure to help Americans and to put a system in that requires people to come into our beautiful country legally. What's so bad about that? This kid in school I don't think he was even suspended. I think they kicked him out of the school because in one of his assignments, he tried to clarify whether something was like an alien from outer space or whether they meant illegal alien. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube now because this kid got kicked out of school for merely, and he wasn't even meaning to, allude to anything malicious or callous, or he wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was trying to clarify what should have been a school subject. But schools are just becoming places where people can become woke cults, where people can be involved in woke cults, where if any of their views diverge from what's expected, what's forced down your throat, then you're ostracized. You're cast out. And whereas maybe you were best friends and you had a lot of people who loved and supported you, oh no, you're disillusioned and you realize that they never had your back in the first place. Their friendship and their love for you was conditional on the fact that you must think, act, and breathe like them. Shando, goodness me. What is so heinous about saying that you have to come into this country legally? Huh? Can anyone tell me what's so heinous about that? And would you stop taking clippets of what he says and twisting them to mean something else? Because you're just aching, you're just itching to scream out racism, xenophobe, transphobe, whatever, you know? It's ridiculous. Grow the heck up, man. It's not cool to um you know try to ruin someone's character when they've done nothing and there's no proof of it, for that matter. If there's anything you guys should be against, it's the media and its lies and its attempts at constant, perpetual attempts at manipulating everybody, turning us all into cash cows, turning us all into subservient, soulless, uh, humans. For they don't even see us as human. They make sure that we eat all the unhealthy food, keep our brains um, to keep our brains low, to keep our brains insufficient. They don't want for us to be healthy. They don't want for us to have mental health. They are promoting confusion and sickness in the society. Now, I want to be clear that um, I think that trans people are beautiful and they're beautiful individuals. I don't think that I don't think that there's anything wrong with trans people, but I do believe that gender dysphoria is a mental illness, and that some people really do need to transition. But I do not think that kids need to. I think that kids should wait. I think there should be better vetting. I think that people should stop shoving it down kids' throats because kids are not supposed to be thinking about sex. Period. What is so bad about me saying that? What is so transphobic about watching out for the well-being of children and looking out for predatory men who are going to use this to their advantage in order to gain access to women's spaces and children? It's God, the fact that there are so many libbed out white moms willing to hand these kids over to these people without a second thought. I mean, I hear about that all the time. I see it. So, please don't. Come on. Don't patronize me. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't. I've seen both sides. I look at both arguments. I even watch a lot of middle ground debates where it's a very liberal platform where when they edit it, they edit it in favor of the left and what they have to say. Oftentimes, you'll find that bits and pieces of it were cut in order to exclude certain discussions that were relevant from the conservative side. For instance, there was this one episode I watched where the debate was between liberal lesbians and conservative lesbians. And they had a conservative black woman and a liberal black woman there. And the liberal woman told the conservative woman that she was privileged. And of course, she brought race into it and she called her privileged. Actually, she wasn't privileged. The middle ground cut out a huge part of it that was very important, where the conservative woman talks and we find that she's actually not privileged at all. And in fact, the woman who was calling her privileged, the woman on the left, is the daughter of a famous football player, or someone who's way up there in some sports league. So who's the one who's privileged? It's always the ones calling everyone else privileged who are privileged, right? It's always those hypocrites. Yeah, the woman she was talking to was, she lived a life of utter strife and, really, really trying to make it work in her life. She was not privileged by any means. And yet, yeah, you get all these loudmouths blabbing on about things they don't even know what they're talking about. Why even give them the time of day? You know? People like that are going to tell me how to think? No way. Am I going to let them get in my mind? Am I? Not really. I, I just think it's ridiculous. And I think that only time will tell who is right and who is wrong. And I don't think y'all are on the right side of history. And in case anyone is putting words in my mouth, I never once said that trans people don't exist. Not once. I'm saying that people are taking advantage of the system. People who aren't really trans. to get their way with women, with children. You tell me it's not happening? I see it, bitch. I see it more and more and more. And something's gotta give. Whew. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really means a lot. And yeah, I hope that my content is informative. I know that I'm a bit of a slow talker. Um, only after I started making videos did I realize that my eyes kind of move in a weird ways at times. But what are you gonna do? Um, yep, I'm awkward, but I'm getting better at, feeling a little more comfortable. It's always when I get nervous when I start to blank out a little bit. And, I can just imagine when people are watching my videos, it's just like, okay, okay, where are you going? Okay, keep going. It's like, hurry up, what? Get to the point. But yeah, I get it. Please subscribe and have a wonderful day. Peace out. Catch you on the flip side. Bye, y'all.